Hello, authors and aspiring authors. Want to write a book in 24 hours or less? Well, I got 3 easy tips for you. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first tip I'm going to give you is going to kind of blow your mind. And here it goes. All right, guys, what I want you to do is start thinking of blogging and not writing. Okay, and what I mean by that is people tend to uh, procrastinate when it comes to writing. When they think, oh, I got to start writing this book, and they think they got to sit down and they got to pound out like uh, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 words in a day, or 5, 6 chapters, and just that thought is so heavy and so burdensome that it just puts them off from it. But think about a blog. How many of you have read blogs? Blogs are very popular. People go on them all the time and read them, right? Why? Because they're short and they're to the point. So instead of sitting down and pounding them all out in one day, why not blog every day? Save them onto Google Docs or Word, whatever you want to do, right? Until you get the amount of blogs that you need to fill up the chapters that you need. So, for instance, you want to write a 12-chapter book. Well, write 12 blogs, save them all. And then when you have your 12 chapters or your 12 blogs, you upload them to KDP. Voila, your book is ready, whatever it may be. Okay? Now, the reason people like blogs is they like reading. Everybody has this assumption that people don't like to read. That's nonsense. Okay, people like to read. The problem is they don't have time to read, and they look at books and they feel overwhelmed. So, for instance, if I were to show you these two books, Patricia Cornwell's At Risk and Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, and I had 10 people in a room, and I said, okay, you have to pick one of these books to read by next week. Which book would you read? Even if both these books are amazing, okay? But if I were to tell you, oh, Patricia Cornwell's book is horrible, it's atrocious, but it's 207 pages. Stephen King's is amazing, but it's 635 pages. 9 out of 10 is going to take this one, okay? Why? Because they don't have the time, and 207 pages is easier to pound out than 635. But again, that's not true. Patricia Cornwell's book is really good. Check both of these out. And even Matthew Riley, he did a book called Hell Island. If I were you, I'd check it out. He did it as a little thing to get people in Australia to start reading. And that book was only like 120 pages. And really, it was probably like 105 because it had a bunch of drawings in it. And that did very well. It's one of his better selling books. So lower selling, less pages, people will buy more. And think about it also when you put it on KDP. My book that I did through KDP, Killing Xenu, the paperback, the cheapest I can sell it for is $10.62. So the more page count you have, it's harder to sell it unless you're well known. So think about, there are some books on Amazon that are only like 20 pages long that sell for 99 cents, and they sell pretty well. Hardcover paperbacks, because there's so little in pages. It doesn't cost them anything to pump out. So don't think of it like you have to produce a lot of pages. You can produce 99-page books. There's a lady I follow on Twitter called Betsy Ross. She's an ex-vet. Check her out. She's an amazing person to talk to. Her book does pretty well. And it's not that many pages. It might be actually 99 pages, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Betsy Ross, and thank you for your service. So just think of it like that. Just blog every day, put it all together, and patch it together, put it out there. And then all you need is just the cover. And then you write your little blurb about your book, and you're all set. Okay? So that's tip number 1. Simple as that. Just become a blogger. You don't have to have a website. Just blog. Almost like if you were doing a journal when you were a little kid. Just blog. That's all you have to do. Tip number 1, right out the way. Okay, guys, so tip number 2 is a simple one. It's use a timer. And the reason for this is because there's so many distractions. And by the way, I'm going to put a link to the video I did before about avoiding distractions while working. But you need to be timed because time is of the essence. You're doing this in 24 hours, right? So you basically need a timer on you. Use your phone. I would prefer you not to use your phone. Turn off a phone. Get like a cooking timer. Use your microwave timer. Use some type of timer, but try to avoid your phone as much as possible, unless you put do not disturb on there. Um, Try to stay away from using any Google searches. Turn off your TVs. Do everything you can just to stay on point. Because remember, time is of the essence. You're trying to do this in 24 hours or less. Um, just make sure you stay focused. So the timer is for that. It's just to keep you focused because people get off point and they get off track and they won't work if you don't stay on track. So the timer is a very important guide. Just find a cheap timer. You can probably get one at a dollar store. Or again, like if you have a microwave, some of them have a cooking timer on there. Put it for 60 minutes and in 60 minutes try to pound out a blog and you're all set. Or again, if you're doing this on a daily basis, again, try to do one in 60 minutes. Maybe you can do 2 blogs in a day, and maybe you can have a really good sized book. I don't know, depending on how many chapters or pages you're trying to do. But um, just make sure you're timing yourself so that way you stay on point and you stay focused. Okay, that's tip number 2. Guys, technology is great. I remember when I first started writing back in high school was when we still had typewriters. Okay, I remember my teacher used to walk around the classroom with a ruler in her hand and smack us in the hand if we didn't have our fingers on the home keys. I mean, we literally learned on typewriters. This was before AOL was a big thing. Okay, so imagine when computers came along, we didn't have to hear the clickety clack of the typewriters anymore. So my third tip to you is dictate, don't type. Nowadays, you can actually speak your words, and the computer translates it onto the format that you want to use, whether it's Word or Google Docs. You can speak, and it'll type it into emails. Use that. I mean, why not use technology when it's available to you? Um, it makes it so much simpler, and especially for me now, because before I used to be able to type up to 80 words a minute. I was so great at typing. Now, due to health issues and problems, my pinky, due to a football injury, I can't bend it all the way. I also have a herniated disc, so I'm typing with 9 fingers and a bad back. My words per minute are down to like 55. I'm useless. But because I can dictate my words, I actually type just back to like 80 words a minute. I mean, you still got to speak clearly, but it's still better than sitting here all day typing. And on top of that, it's good for your hands. There were days where I would go on writing binges, and the next day my hands would cramp, and they would hurt, and they would take days away from me from writing. Now, those days are gone. I speak my words, and the computer dictates it for me. Now, if you have a Mac, like I do, you just hit the function key twice. If that does not work, I'm going to put a video attached right here. Just click on it. I'll send you to this person's link. He'll teach you how to do it, how to set it up. Also, he'll show you how to do it for Microsoft Word. I'm not exactly sure. I have it set up for my command key. I type that twice, tap it twice, and it comes up. But use it. I mean, why not use technology when it's available to you to make your life simpler? So, my third tip is dictate, don't type. There is a fourth tip coming. This is a bonus tip. It's actually not a tip, it's a reality check. Okay, so here you go. So, what is the reality check? This is the reality check. Look at this video attached below. This guy did this 24-hour writing session. Okay? But he actually wrote. And he thought he was going to do a 24-hour writing session and get his book published on KDP. On top of that, he was going to go to Barnes and Nobles and get his book in there, in the store. And then he also thought he was going to go to a regular bookstore and get his book in the store. He did some wild stuff. He went on Instagram and asked people, hey, give me a name of a character, give me a genre, give me whatever, and he wrote a book about it. I can't even remember. It was Fat, Chumby, Wumby, whatever. Either way, listen. This is to get you to write a book in 24 hours, okay? By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, the editing, leave for last. Don't edit while you write. Edit later. But the whole point is just to get you to write. You're not going to get published in 24 hours. That's the reality check. Your publishing is going to be through KDP, but you're not going to get, like, in Barnes and Nobles. You're not going to get published through Penguin Publishing House. You're not going to get published by any of the other major book distributors. This is basically you just doing a book and getting it on KDP. It's basically going to be a 100-page book. Maybe you're going to push it to 120, whatever. But you want to keep the page count down as much as possible, so that way the cost is low and you can sell your paperback book for as cheap as possible. Right now, I have a paperback cover book. Again, it's over almost 300 pages, and the cheapest I can sell it for is $10.62. You got to remember, Amazon's got to make their money too. So you want to keep the pages down as much as possible. So reality check, guys. This guy was a moron to think that he was going to get it into Barnes & Nobles in 24 hours. And he was a moron to think he was even going to get into a regular store in 24 hours. I mean, you'll see the video. He's trying to push it to find a manager to get his book in there. Then he's pretty much shocked at how much percentage they'll take, and that he has to buy back the books if they don't sell. And I mean, listen, it's not that bookstores are not going to lose money, okay? Not nowadays. So I worked retail. I know how it works. I know the whole buyback system. I used to work at Barnes and not Barnes, no, Bed Bath and Beyond in their corporate headquarters, and I worked with Procter & Gamble. If an item didn't sell, guess what? Procter & Gamble was buying it back and giving us money back. Okay, it all works like that. When you see a product marked down at Barnes and I keep saying Barnes and Nobles, but Bed Bath and Beyond, it's because that company paid us to mark it down. That's how it worked. Bed Bath & Beyond does not lose money when a product doesn't sell. So these bookstores don't lose money when a book doesn't sell. So don't think that you're going to get your book into Barnes & Nobles in 24 hours. That's not what this video is about. It's just about getting your book written in 24 hours or less. All right? So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Leave me any comments or questions below. Don't forget to ring that bell, so that way you get notified any more content that I put out there. And remember to always write now.